I agree. Like, uh, my breaking point was not nearly as intense as running a medical facility during COVID, but I had to hit this wall where I realized, oh my gosh, like I'm there's something wrong with me, and I need to make these changes. And it's scary because it's almost like you're saying someone needs to basically bottom out before they can start ascending up.
Yeah.
And it's scary because it's like you bottom out, and then there's extreme options that exist in that dark space. And so what do you think that people could what are things that people could do or put in place so that when they bottom out, they're able to rebound versus regress or fall further?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good question. And I'll go back to the veteran piece because I think this is
Mhm.
really important. I think if you recognize the fact that, the selection bias you have for joining the military, especially if you've joined a career field that is, high risk, high intensity, all of that stuff, right? But I think you just have to sort of recognize like the stuff that there's stuff in there potentially, right? I think sort of knowing the risk is there is the first piece, right? Um, I think surrounding yourself with people who you trust and respect and have your back is really important too. And I actually think the biggest thing we can do, the we's that are, kind of on, and let's not say the other side, but I think, out of the pit for sure is talking about it and then recognizing it in others. Like the thing I took from the military, I tell people all about when we were 1 year into COVID, and after I'd started got some of my own help, I said to the organization, I said, we are going to have a sea of people dealing with severe PTSD coming out of this, and we're not going to see it until the storm ends. Because I knew what it looked like when people came home, own friends from Iraq and Afghanistan, and they were okay there. I mean, they were okay. They were functioning there. And, it wasn't the music stopped that things were bad. And what I got from my military experience though, is I can look at people and I can see when they've got that 1,000-yard stare, or I can recognize some of the behaviors and stuff. And I think that's where we can help each other as a community of that. So like not only just this sort of informational thing you're doing with like, how do you transition? Practically, how do you do it? How do you look for a job? What's the unique experience? What's the identity change? But I think looking out for each other like we always have,
Yeah.
around that. I think that's the key. And maybe people don't have to get to the bottom then.